All right, MLN fans, welcome back. It is time for Game 4 here in Los Angeles of the 2023 World Series. 43,000 fans in attendance to see the St. Joseph Sausage Dogs visit the Los Angeles Dragons. The Dogs are behind in the series, 2-1, looking to get out of here with a win. They've got one more game in LA after this, so they really need to take one of these next two or they're in trouble. They're going to send Fernando Borboa to the mound. Borboa has been their stopper in this playoff series. He pitched well in Game 3 of the championship series and then pitched really well in Game 7. Although he didn't get a decision in that, had to go to extra innings to end that one. He has been the guy they've turned to when they need a win, and they need a win here in a bad way. On the other side, we've got Roger Millie, who started Game 1 of this series and was terrible. Pitched 1 2/3 innings, gave up 5 runs in that time. He is looking for a little redemption, I guess, is the best way to put it. Going to be an interesting matchup for the pitchers, and let's go down to the field. All right, to start the game here, it is Tommy Nance behind the plate for the Dragons. He's going to have Matt George at third, Zachary Johnstone at short, Felipe Lara at second, and Carlitos Genes at first base. That infield's played every game so far this series. Bobby Collier out in left, has been the hero over and over again for LA. Jorge Coriano in center, and Moises Mendoza, the right fielder. They are going to face Fernando Barber, Vargas, and Perez here to lead off the game. And let's get it going. Wind is blowing out to right. See if that matters to anyone. And here is Barber with the 3-0 count, and he walked him. Millie starts off about where he left off. Leadoff walk to Fernando Barber on 4 pitches. Not what you wanted to see here. And it's Oliver Vargas, the number 2 hitter. And Vargas, hard bouncing ball to third base. I said bouncing, but apparently it was a line drive. I don't know. Either way, he's out. And that's 1 down now for David Perez, the Championship Series MVP. Has hit well in this postseason, and whoa, smoked that one down the third base line, but Matt George makes a great play. Makes the throw to second, no time to turn the double play, but there is one, the leadoff runner cut down, 2 outs now, and Perez over at first on the fielder's choice. And it's Bill Christensen batting cleanup. Christensen strikes out looking. He has been very, very good at getting on base in this series, but it seems like they've managed to find ways to strike him out in some big situations. Not a great trend for him. We'll see if he can turn it around. All right, so no runs on no hits. They strand 1 runner, the leadoff walk to Barber, and it is the bottom half now, and it's Collier, Coriano, and Nance to hit for the Dragons. It's Gus Tynes behind the plate again. Jesus the Jesus Mesa over at third, Fernando Barber at short, David Perez at second, and Oliver Vargas at first. Out in the outfield, Cerezo, Carrillo, and Christensen. Those guys have been fantastic in this series, in this playoffs, and here we go. Collier has hit righties well. He's hit Borboa especially well, and continues to. Collier reaches base one more time with a leadoff single. And it's Jorge Coriano with the runner at first. Takes the count full, and he gets something to swing at on the payoff pitch. Collier, good breakup slide, prevents the throw. It's a fielder's choice. They get Collier at second, Coriano takes first, and there's 1 down and a runner at first for Tommy Nance, the catcher. Nance splits time behind the plate with, what's his name, Wei Kang-ju, depending lefty-righty, but he's 6 for 20 so far in the postseason when he's had a chance to play. The 0-1 to Nance, hit that one hard. It's going to get down in front of the left fielder for a base hit. Runners at first and second now with 1 out for Matt George. George only 5 for 37 in these playoffs, but 2 home runs. Has come up in some big moments since he slumped in the beginning. And here you go again. RBI double. Looks like 2 runs will score. No, Nance holds up at third. So single RBI on the play for Matt George, but big stand-up double just when they needed one. And the Dragons out to an early lead, 1-0, and runners in scoring position for Tyler Coleman, again with only 1 out. Oh, they walk Coleman. Borboa walks Coleman to load the bases. He's not happy with the call. He checked his swing, but the ump said he held it up. And it's Moises Mendoza now with the bases loaded. Big opportunity for Mendoza. Oh, he grounds out to first. They're not able to turn two. That's rough. They give up a run on the fielder's choice here. George into third. Nance scores. Coleman to second. And it's Carlitos Genes now with a 2-run lead and runners at second and third. The 1-0 to Genes, and that is a run-scoring double at least. 2 runs in. Genes comes around, slides in ahead of the throw, beat it by a mile. Another double. Carlitos Genes scores 2 on the double, and it's 4-0 for the Dragons here in the bottom of the first already, getting to Fernando Borboa, who has not found himself in this kind of trouble in these playoffs yet. We'll see how he recovers. He strikes him out swinging to get out of the inning, but my goodness, 4 runs on 4 hits here in the bottom of the first. They also picked up a couple of walks. A walk. In any case, not what you wanted to see from Fernando Borboa if you were a St. Joseph Sausage Dogs fan. And we head to the top of the second with a big lead for Los Angeles. You're going to see the Jesus here, then Paul Miller and Orlando Cerezo to bat against Roger Millie, who has a little breathing room for the first time in the series. Maybe that'll help. And the Jesus hits a line shot, but right at Johnstone. Nice catch to even get the glove on that. That was a rocket. And here is Miller now with 1 down. The 1-1 pitch to Paul Miller. And he hits a hard grounder to Matt George at third. Makes the throw over. That's 2 down. And Orlando Cerezo with 2 down works the count full here on Millie. And he struck him out looking. Cerezo thought he was going to get a walk there, but it catches the corner, and that'll do it. A 1-2-3 inning, Dragons with a 4-0 lead. All right, it's Johnstone, and then back around to the top. Collier and Coriano here for Los Angeles. And Johnstone is going to get on base. Hits that one, bounces in front of Christensen. He makes the play to keep it to single, but that is a nice bit of hitting. Johnstone at first now for Bobby Collier. Collier is 1 for 1. Sorry, Collier's 1 for 1. That looks like a double play. No! Oh my goodness. Another misplayed double play grounder by the St. Joseph infield. That's painful to see. They've had a couple of those in this postseason, and they're too good for that. Fernando Barbo, good defensive shortstop. There's no reason to not make that play, but instead it's just 1 out. Hopefully it doesn't bite him. Here's Coriano. And Coriano hits it hard, but playable to Carrillo in center. All right, so 2 down with a runner at first for Tommy Nance. Nance 1 for 1 in the game. Also, he scored a run last inning. And this time he's going to ground out to Perez at second. So the botched double play doesn't hurt him in the end. They leave 1 runner, strand a guy, but it's still a 4-0 lead for Los Angeles here going into the top of the third. Miller's going to face Gus Tynes, Atilio Carrillo, and Fernando Barber here in the top half of the third. Tynes likes the first pitch he sees, but it's right at Felipe Lara, and that is 1 down. Now here's Carrillo. He has struggled, to say the least. Hit under 200 for the season. Oh, goodness. Every time I say that he's not hitting well, he gets a base hit. All 3 times in the postseason. But in any case, Carrillo gets aboard with a line shot to right on a full count. Can't argue with that. And it's Fernando Barber now with a runner on first. And only 1 out. 0-2 to Barber. He walked his first time up. This time he hits into not a double play. He beat the throw out. Took a little bit of extra time to get that one turned. Slow throw from Genes over to Johnstone, and they couldn't get it back in time. So fielder's choice and Barber at first. And here's Oliver Vargas. And Vargas will get a base hit. Drops in front of Mendoza. And that is runners at the corners with 2 down. Barber slides in ahead of the tag. And David Perez now in a RBI situation. He's the guy you'd want to see there. And he doesn't get it done here. Grounds out to Johnstone at short. And that'll do. They strand 2 runners. Score remains 4-0. No runs on 2 hits and no errors for St. Joseph so far through 3. All right, for the Dragons, it's going to be the cleanup hitter, Matt George, followed by Tyler Coleman and Moises Mendoza. George is 1 for 1 with an RBI, had a double earlier. And that's going to get down. Another base hit out to right, and George is 2 for 2 on the game. And I think it's safe to say he's broken out of that championship series slump. Coleman now is 0 for 0 because he walked in his first at bat, takes the count full, and he walks again. Patience pays off for Tyler Coleman, and they got runners at first and second with nobody out. Borboa is in a little bit of a pickle again. Moises Mendoza now 0 for 1 on the game. And that is playable for Carrillo in center. Not going to challenge his arm on a shallow fly ball, and George not much of a runner to begin with. So he stays at second, and there's one down with runners at first and second for Carlito Genes. Genes doubled last time up. This time he hits into a double play. Wow. That is a rare one. A double play pitcher making the play off the mound. Nice fielding by Borboa, and that gets him out of the inning. They strand 2 runners. 4 runs on 6 hits and no errors for the Dragons through 3. All right, to lead off the 4th, it's going to be Christensen, followed by Mesa and Miller. Christensen struck out his first time up. And this time on a full count, he hits it all the way to the warning track. It takes a bounce, sits under the wall. He's going to get to third. Wow. A triple. That's a triple for Bill Christensen to lead off the inning. That puts Jesus Mesa in an excellent position. Mesa, so far in this series, 2 home runs and 8 RBI. The grand slam, a 3-run shot, and then he knocked in 1. And he knocks in another. Guy is a machine. That's a easy double as he hits it deep into the corner. Well ahead of the throw. Christensen scores. Mesa's in there with an RBI double. And it's 4-1 now, Dragons. But Millie's got himself in this situation with not even a single hitter retired. So it's Paul Miller now with nobody out and a runner in scoring position. The 1-2 pitch to Miller. And that's going to get through. Another base hit. Mesa's not the fastest, but he's going to run, and he beats the throw. Mesa beats the throw. Good hustle around the bases, and that is a 2-4 game now. St. Joseph gets a second run. Still nobody out. Runner over at first, and Paul Miller. He is fast. Orlando Cerezo just needs to get this in play, and Miller's probably on third. Lays down a bunt, and sure enough, moves the runner over. Miller in scoring position with that good speed. Sacrifice bunt by Cerezo, and they're going to go to the pen. Millie is done for the day. Another poor outing from Roger Millie, and here is Angel Griego. Griego has been very good. He has pitched in these playoffs now 5 innings and only allowed 4 hits total. He has allowed some runs, given up 2 home runs. I guess that's not ideal. But for the most part, you can count on him to get out of a tight spot. And like I said, he's going to bean one of the worst hitters on the other team to put runners at first and second with only 1 out. So maybe not so much with Angel Griego. And Daniel Mocha is going to pinch hit for Carrillo, as he does often in these situations. Carrillo is just not, although he's 1 for 1 in the game, he's just not the hitter you want in a big RBI situation. Let's see if Mocha can do any better. He's 0 for 2 so far in the postseason. 0 for 3 as he strikes out. Carrillo could have done that, and you'd have kept the best glove in baseball out in center field. But, hey, who am I to judge? So Ferdinando Barber now. 0 for 1 in the game with a walk. Runners at first and second. Takes a 1-2 pitch and hits it hard, but playable for Genes at first. And that'll do it for the inning. But they get 3 hits. They add 2 runs, and it's now a 4-2 game. Feels a lot better than 4-0 if you're in the Sausage Dogs dugout. And here come the Dragons. It's Lara, Johnstone, and Collier this inning to face Fernando Borboa. And that is hit but fielded by the shortstop, Barber for the out. A little bit of a tricky play there. Nice glove and one down. So Mocha is in the game now at second base. They move Perez to left field, where he's surprisingly good fielder. Cerezo shifts over to center. He is a drop-off from Carrillo out there, but he can still play. And Bill Christensen remains in right. So Mocha, maybe even an improvement, slight improvement over Perez on the infield defense. Could be worse defensively. And it's Zachary Johnstone now, 1-for-1 in the game. And full count, and he walked him. Borboa's third walk puts Johnstone at first with one down. And it's Bobby Collier. Collier hits what ought to be a double play grounder. Mocha makes the play, flips it to Barber. Barber, for literally no apparent reason, does not make the throw to first to turn two. And again, they allow a fielder's choice where they could have had two outs. Really strange play out of this infield. And that's a easy ground ball to the shortstop. Barber plays it himself, flips it to Mocha, and we are out of that inning. They walk one, they strand him there, and it's 4-2. Dragons lead after 4. Griego remains in the game. He's going to face Vargas, Perez, and Christensen here, with Meza in the hole. And Vargas gets the 1-0 pitch right back up the middle for an easy base hit. So runner at first, and they go to the pen again. This time it's Wiedling. Wiedling has pitched well in very short bursts in the playoffs. He's allowed a couple of runs in 2 outings, so maybe not well. I have a good impression of this guy, but looking at the numbers, I don't know why. Yeah, we'll just have to see. He's surrendered some runs, and he's not a guy who's going to give you 3 innings. Kind of a strange choice here to go to the lefty, especially with Perez, who hits lefties really, really well. 2-2 pitch to Perez, the runner at first, and like I said, going to strike out Perez because Perez is a sissy. Good job by Wiedling to get that done, and Christensen now batting from the right side. He's 1 for 2, batting from the left side, and he strikes out swinging. Second strikeout for Wiedling, second strikeout for Christensen in the game, and it's the Jesus. Jesus the Jesus Meza. He's got an RBI double in the game so far. And another base hit for Meza. I don't know if it was that coming into the series I unfavorably compared Meza to George. Said George is a little bit better, but whatever the case, Meza has just absolutely hit the cover off the ball in this series, and it's a shame if St. Joseph doesn't put together a couple of wins here that he will not have the opportunity to be the World Series MVP, because, man, if they pull it out, he absolutely deserves it. And here is Paul Miller, who will also strike out. So Wiedling strikes out 3. They strand 2 runners. And the Dragons maintain a 4-2 lead in spite of the fact their pitching seems to be a little bit all over the place, to say the least. So here's Nance, followed by George and Coleman, the heart of the order. And Nance strikes out. Everybody's going to strike out. That's just what you do. It's second strikeout for Boboa. And here's Matt George. And George lifts it in the air, easily played for the center fielder Cerezo. And that is 2 down. Tyler Coleman. Coleman walked twice in the game, takes the count full again, and this time hits a rocket back up the middle for his first base hit of the game. So Coleman at first for Moises Mendoza. Mendoza 0 for 2. And 0 for 3 as he hits it hard on the ground, but right at Daniel Mocha, and that will do it for the inning. And here we are, top of 6. It's going to be Cerezo, Tynes, and Mocha to face Mike Wiedling. 0-1 to Cerezo, and he hit that hard, but it is good hustle by Bobby Collier to get underneath that one. He ripped it, and Collier runs it down and left. Nice play. Here is Gus Tynes now. 1-0 to Tynes, and he'll get a base hit out of this. That drops in front of Coriano. Much to everyone's surprise, Gus Tynes on first with a base hit. There's Daniel Mocha. He came in to pinch hit earlier in the game. He's 0 for 1. He struck out last time. This time he gets one down for a base hit himself. Tynes does not try for third. Probably the right choice because Tynes runs like a school bus with two flat tires in the front. Here is Ferdinando Barber. Now, he's the leadoff hitter. He's 0 for 2 in the game, but he did walk to start the game. And only one out here. He walks for the second time. And the home crowd is booing Mike Wiedling as he leaves the game, replaced with a righty Armando Ojeda. Ojeda, 25 years old. He pitched earlier in this series, pitched an inning and a third, didn't allow any hits, walked one, struck out two. In an earlier loss, here is Oliver Vargas to face him. He's 2 for 3 today. They like the righty-righty matchup. He takes the count full with the bases loaded. And hits that one a mile to center field. Coriano runs it down on the warning track, but that's going to score a run from third. That scores a run from third, and St. Joseph has added their third run of the game. Now 4-3. The Los Angeles pitching staff has squandered the 4-run first inning from the Dragons hitters and let St. Joseph crawl right back into this game. There's now 2 outs, but a runner in scoring position for David Perez. 2-2 to Perez, and that's through for a base hit. Will it score a run? It will. This is going to be a tie game, folks. He is in ahead of the tag. Mocha scores. Game is now tied 4-4, and Ojeda is looking to get this last out. It's Bill Christensen now. Back to hitting lefty where he's better. Oh, but he walked him. Oh, man. 4-pitch walk from Ojeda. And the bases are juiced for Jesus, the Jesus Mesa. You couldn't ask for a more dramatic moment for the Jesus. He already has a grand slam in this series. The 1-1 pitch, not this time. He hits it deep into left field, but playable for Collier. They leave the bases loaded, but tied. They tied the game up. And again, the Dragons are booed as they leave the field by this home crowd. They are not happy with what they're seeing out here. All right, Borboa will take a seat. Here to start the 6th is Mike Bradbury out of the pen. Bradbury pitched once in the playoffs, one third of an inning against the Dem Apples. He gave up 4 hits and 2 runs in that 1/3 of an inning. So he might be the guy that the Dragons want to see. They're looking for a little bit better out of him here from St. Joseph's side. But he's going to face Zenez, Lara, and John Stone. John Stone. I don't know why I can't say that guy's name. 0-1 to Lara, and he hits it, a base hit to right field, and I'm sorry, to Zenez, not Lara. Lara at the plate now with Zenez at first and nobody out. Bradbury takes it to 2-0, and that should be... Oh, it's not a double play, a double two. Jesus Christ. It's not a double play. Meza makes the play, but he throws it to first instead of trying to cut down that lead runner. And Zenez moves over on the fielder's choice to second base. And Zachary Johnstone now, with 1 down and a runner in scoring position. And that is easily fielded by the second baseman. Johnstone is out, and they go to the lefty, Jesse Stallman, to face Bobby Collier. Stallman pitched against the Dragons earlier this series, gave up 3 hits and 1 1/3, but didn't allow any runs, didn't walk anybody. And against Dem Apples, back in the previous series, pitched 2/3 of an inning, struck out 1, didn't allow any base runners. So he's been a little mildly more successful than the last guy. Let's see if he can get Bobby Collier, who's been on a tear. 2 down, runner at third for Collier. And Collier is going to fly out to center. So Rezo makes the play in center field, and the game remains tied after 6, 4-4. Another pitcher for the Dragons, this one Manuel Resto. Resto pitched just yesterday against St. Joseph, pitched 2 full innings, struck out 3, didn't allow a base runner. Appearance before that, pitched 3 1/3 against Cooperstown, allowed 3 hits and 2 runs. And before that, 2/3 of an inning, allowed 1 hit. Resto Not a again, not an inning eater. They're just looking at him to get to the eighth, and it's Paul Miller followed by Cerezo and Tynes here for Resto. It's 2-2 pitch now to Miller, and he struck him out. Miller chases a bad pitch, and that will be the first batter out for St. Joseph. Here is Cerezo now, 0 for 2. 0-1 from Resto, and Cerezo hits that hard. That's going to get down for a base hit in front of the right fielder, Mendoza, and a runner aboard with one out. So here's Gus Tynes. Tynes 1 for 2 in the game. And that is a fly out to center. Not deep enough to move the runner in any case, even though Cerezo is quick. And Mocha to the plate. 1 for 2 since coming into pinch hit. 1-2 pitch, he struck him out. Mocha struck out, and that will do it. We're going to the 7th inning stretch. Everyone, please enjoy the vocal stylings of Sheryl Crow, and I will see you in a minute. All right, Stallman remains on the mound. He's going to face Coriano, Nance, and George here in the bottom of the 7th in a tie game. And Coriano walks on a full count to lead off the inning, so the leadoff runner aboard for LA. And here's Tommy Nance with Coriano on base, 1 for 3 so far. He's 0-2 pitch, and he hits it to center field, but that is playable for Cerezo, and he is out. 1 down now, runner at first for Matt George. Full count to George, and he struck him out. Wow. Big sweeping slider gets George chasing, and 2 down now with a runner at first. David Cantu is going to come in and pinch hit for the DH. Was that Tyler? Yeah, that was, I forget his last, Tyler Powers. He walked twice already in the game and had a base hit. I guess they're going lefty-righty. They go to Cantu. 3-1 pitch. He walked him. 2-out walk puts runners at first and second, and they're going to go to the pen again for Zach Cioffi. Cioffi's pitched a bunch in the playoffs. 3 1/3. He's only allowed 2 hits and 1 run in that time. Looking for a stop here against Moises Mendoza. 2-1 to Mendoza with 2 runners on. Tie game. And Mendoza hits it on the ground. Playable by Mocha. Had a little trouble with it, but got control of it and plenty of time to make the throw to first. And that gets them out of the inning. They strand 2. It is 4-4 as we head into the 8th. 4 runs on 11 hits for St. Joseph. 4 runs on 8 hits for the Dragons. And it's Resto again to start the inning. He is going to face Ferdinando Barber, Oliver Vargas, and David Perez here in this inning, the top of the order. The 2-1 to Barber. And he bloops that one out to left, but Collier is underneath it, and that is 1 down. Now here's Vargas. 2-1 count to Vargas. He hits a little blooper as well, but playable in center for Coriano, and that's 2 down. Now David Perez, last batter of the 8th, or last chance in the 8th, 0-2 pitch to Perez. He hits it much, much harder, but still eminently playable for Bobby Collier, and that'll do it. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits in the inning for St. Joseph, and the game is still tied at 4 as the home team Dragons come back up for the bottom of the 8th. Zenez, Lara, and Johnstown to hit in this inning. Cioffi stays in for St. Joseph. 1-0 pitch, and that is way out of here. Way out of here. Zenez leads off with a home run, 371 feet to dead left. Dragons lead 5-4. Huge at bat from Carlito Zenez. Nobody out, nobody on for Felipe Lara. It takes 2-2 count. Cioffi rocks, fires, and that is grounded back to the second baseman, Mocha. 1 down. Zachary Johnstone now at the plate. Little blooper, not going to drop. Good play by Cerezo to get underneath it. 2 down. Here's Bobby Collier. 1-2 pitch to Collier. Struck him out. So Chaffee gets it together and retires the next 3 hitters, but not until after Carlitos Genes hits a big solo home run to take the lead in the bottom of the 8th. 5-4 game, Los Angeles, and now it's the last chance all of a sudden for St. Joseph. They've got Christensen, Jesus the Jesus Mesa, and Paul Miller at the plate. You couldn't. It's a good situation for them batter-wise, but it's Matt Kelly out of the pen. Kelly, the closer, absolutely dominant fastball and a changeup that the change in speed is ridiculous. Tons of movement on his pitches. His stuff is great. 37 years old, so hopefully he doesn't die of a stroke or old age on the mound. But so far in the playoffs, he has only allowed 1 hit, but it was a 3-run home run against Cooperstown in a another big pressure situation. He's got 2 saves in the playoffs, but that blown save is the one people are going to talk about. If he doesn't do something spectacular here, this is a good opportunity to shut down St. Joseph and get a little bit of that credit back with the fans. So 2-2 to Christensen. And he struck him out. Goes from an 82-mile-an-hour changeup to a 98-mile-an-hour fastball with movement. That's just tough to play, but he freezes Bill Christensen, and that is 1 out. Now here's Jesus the Jesus Mesa. 2 for 4 in the game with an RBI. And he hits it hard up the line, but George is playing on the foul line, and that's 2 down. Matt George makes a great play against his third base counterpart, and here comes Paul Miller, 1 for 4 in the game. Last hope for St. Joseph here. 0-1 pitch. Miller sneaks it through. That's a base hit. Miller to first. Good speed on first base with Paul Miller. And it's Orlando Cerezo. Cerezo 1 for 3 in the game. Big moment. 2 outs. Runner at first. And Cerezo hits it in the air. Collier's got a beat on it, and that will do it. Ball game over. Los Angeles pulls out another win, this time without the offensive explosion. Just a nice 5-4 simple victory. The pitching was a mess, but they held on, and that is a 3-1 lead in the World Series, and they've got one more game here in Los Angeles before they have to go home. So it's going to be a big one. Tune in for Game 5. Next time, I'll talk to you then.